Have you ever woken up in the night and seen someone in the room? Not someone specific, just a dark figure in the corner, by the bed, in the doorway. You blink and it's gone. Or it isn't. They are called shadow people, and millions of people around the world have seen them, independently, in the same positions, in the same places. Science says one thing, the people who have seen them say another. Tonight, 11 stories. My name is Mariella. Welcome.
It started when I was 9 years old. Every night, the same thing. I would wake up around 3 in the morning and it would be there by my bed. Tall, black, no face, no details. Just the shape of a person, but darker than the darkness around it. It didn't move. It just stood there and I could feel it. Watched. I told my mother. She said it was just a dream. I stopped telling her. This went on for 7 years. At 16, I moved to a different showroom. The first 2 nights, nothing. I thought it was over. On the 3rd night, it was standing by my bed again. It had followed me. I'm 42 now. It still comes. Every few months. I'm not longer afraid. I just look back. One night I asked it out loud. What do you want? It didn't answer. But I felt it was surprised.
My daughter was 4 years old. She started mentioning her friend, tall, black, comes at night. I thought it was an imaginary friend. Kids invent things. But then she started describing details that a 4-year-old cannot make up. He stands in the corner. He doesn't talk in words. He talks here. She pointed to her head. He shows me pictures. One night I heard her voice at 3 in the morning. I came in. She was sitting up in bed talking to the corner of the room. The corner was empty, but she was laughing. I asked who she was talking to. She said, the tall one. He says you've seen him too, when you were little. I had seen it as a child. I had never told anyone. Not once, not even my wife.
I woke up at 4 in the morning, couldn't move, standard sleep paralysis. I knew what it was. But this time something was on me, physically. I could feel the weight on my chest, heavy, like someone had sat down. I moved my eyes, the only thing I could move, and I saw it, sitting directly on me, black, no face, leaning forward. I couldn't scream, couldn't breathe properly, just lay there and looked at it. Then it leaned closer, right up to my face, and I felt cold. Not air cold, cold from the inside, like something was pulling the warmth out of me. I later read that this is called old hag syndrome. People all over the world describe the same thing, a creature sitting on their chest, across thousands of years, across different cultures. That doesn't explain why my chest hurt for 3 weeks after that night.
I didn't believe in any of this, not until that night. I had noticed a dark figure in the hallway a few times. Put it down to shadows, decided to set up a camera. A standard security camera with night mode, pointed it at the hallway, went to sleep. In the morning, I watched the footage. At 2:47, a dark figure appeared in the hallway. Tall, stood there for about a minute, then walked through the closed bathroom door I watched that clip maybe 20 times. The figure was not a shadow from any of them. There was no source. It was not a reflection. The walls were bare. It walked through the door. I showed it to a friend, a skeptic. He watched it for a long time, then said, "Delete this and sell the flat." I didn't sell, but I took the camera down because I realized some things are better left unknown.
We were staying at mine. Around 2 a.m, we both woke up simultaneously. No reason. In the doorway stood a figure, tall, almost to the top of the frame, black, looking at us. We both saw it, both silent, both couldn't move, not paralysis, just fear. Then my friend found it in himself to shout. The figure didn't run, it simply ceased to exist in a fraction of a second. We sat with the lights on until morning, and in the morning we each described what we had seen without consulting each other. The descriptions matched down to the details. Height, shape, no face. That was not sleep paralysis. That was not a hallucination. There were 2 of us, and we both saw it.
I had been afraid of shadow people my whole life, until one night. I was fast asleep. Suddenly, something woke me. Not a sound, just the feeling that I needed to wake up. I opened my eyes. A dark figure was standing by my bed. I wanted to scream, but the figure made a gesture with its hand, like, quiet, and pointed toward the kitchen. I don't know why. I got up and went to the kitchen. The gas was on. I had forgotten to turn off the burner before bed. If I had slept another hour, it would have been a disaster. When I came back to the bedroom, the figure was gone. I don't know who or what it was, but it saved me. And since then, I'm not as afraid of them. Although sometimes I wonder, what if it just wanted me to owe it something?
Stop. Because before we go further, we need to talk about what science actually says about these entities. Shadow people are not an internet phenomenon. References to dark figures that visit people in the night appear in ancient Egyptian texts, in medieval Europe, in Japanese mythology, in the beliefs of indigenous peoples of America. Thousands of years, different cultures, the same description. What does science say? Theory 1, sleep paralysis. During waking, the brain sometimes exists in an intermediate state. Motor functions are not yet active, but consciousness is already running. In this moment, the brain generates hallucinations, often in the form of dark figures. Theory 2, hypnagogic hallucinations. They occur on the border between sleep and waking. The brain sees images that are not there, most often dark silhouettes. Theory 3, infrasound. Some researchers have found that infrasound at around 18 hertz, below the threshold of human hearing, causes feelings of anxiety, goosebumps, and peripheral hallucinations in people. Dark figures glimpsed at the edge of vision. But here is what science cannot explain. Why are the descriptions so identical from people who have never heard of each other? Why do 2 people see them simultaneously? Why do they sometimes act, warning, pointing, interacting? A hallucination cannot be identical in 2 different people in the same room at the same time.
The first time I saw it was as a child. in the hallway at night. In the morning, we learned that my grandfather had died. I decided it was coincidence. But then it happened again. The night before my grandmother died, a dark figure in the doorway. The night before my father died, a figure by the window. 5 times in my life. 5 times I saw it. 5 times the next morning someone close to me died or received a terminal diagnosis. Now when I see it, I don't sleep until morning. I sit and wait for the phone call. It always comes. 3 years ago, I saw it again. I called every relative at 6 in the morning. Everyone alive, everyone well. I thought I had finally been wrong. A week later, doctors found a tumor in me. I wrote, I survived. The tumor was removed. But the next time I see it, I won't be calling relatives.
First, my daughter saw it, then my son, then my wife, then me. Nobody told anyone else, so as not to frighten them. We all stayed silent for weeks. Until one evening at dinner, my daughter asked, "Do you all see the tall black man on the stairs?" The table went quiet. We each described what we had seen. All the descriptions, identical, tall, black, standing halfway up the stairs looking down. We moved out within a month. The next tenants lasted 3 weeks and also left. The house has been empty for 4 years. No one stays. I had woken to it many times before. It always just stood there, never moved. But that night, it moved. It was standing by the wall, and slowly, very slowly, it extended an arm toward me. I couldn't move, not sleep paralysis. I could move, I just couldn't make myself. I watched the arm reaching toward me. It reached my leg. I felt the touch, cold, like metal in winter. And that is when I finally screamed. It vanished, but the place where it had touched me went numb for several days.
I was walking down the street, 2 in the afternoon, bright sunshine, people everywhere. I noticed a figure at the edge of my vision, dark. I assumed it was just someone in dark clothing. I turned. There was a person in a dark coat, but no face, completely smooth where the face should have been. I stopped. People around me kept walking. Nobody reacted. Nobody saw it. I blinked. The figure was gone. This was not at night, not while falling asleep, not while waking up. It was the middle of the afternoon, and I was completely awake.
I had woken to it several times. It always stood by the window. I would close my eyes. It would leave. One morning, I got up and saw a mark on the windowsill. A handprint, dark, as if someone had pressed a hand into the dusty sill from the inside. I live on the 5th floor. I photographed it, then wiped it away. I should have left it, because the next night it came again. And I don't know. Was it the same mark or a new one?
11 stories. Different people, different countries, different years, the same entity. I don't know what they are. Nobody does. But I know one thing. Tonight, when you're falling asleep, you're going to check the corners of the room. Have you seen something like this? Leave a comment. Just yes or no, or tell me your story. The best ones go into the next video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Next time, Deja Vu, the Mandela effect and time loops, why your memory is lying to you. Good night. And don't look at the corners.